video 2. Men are aggravating. And I definitely see how and why now. In pregnancy, giving birth to your first child, giving birth to a child, in a relationship with your partner, girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife. I see how it strains a bit. Because I feel like it's going to be finances, communication issues, you lose the sex because people don't want to talk about that. People are just like, "Oh no, that word, it's a bad word," but get real terms, all that goes out the window, and it's going to be all about baby, all about baby's diapers, all about baby's feeding, all about circle of the baby. And you want to not forget about your relationship with your partner, but at the same time it's like you have a human child coming, so you got to prepare, you got to get ready, especially the mom. Mentally, we just got to get ready. We're like, boom, thinking of all the things we got to buy. See what I'm waiting for diaper wise. I'm waiting until I meet him, of course, and see if any of the diapers affect him wrong. And then from there, once I find the diaper that I find that holds him good, that doesn't give him allergic reactions, that I'll stick with that one and buy that one. But obviously I don't know that yet until he's here as a mom. But everything else I pretty much got, and then everything else that I don't have or I didn't know I needed, I will figure out over time. They even say any mom is not an expert right away. As a first time mom, it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to start all over my life pretty much. My life's new. It's a whole nother journey. It's a whole nother life for me. It's a whole nother step. It's a whole nother level. It's not about me no more. It's not about my anxiety. And then before I would want to kill myself because this life is too hard to handle with stress and problems and bills, and life's nothing but money and sex for this world. And to me that just stresses me out. Because it's like, oh, it's just about money, and it's just about paying bills that are way over $100, and rent that here in California is way past $1,500 for a small apartment with one room. It's like one room. You expect a whole family to live in one room. It is insane. So that would drive me crazy, definitely. I'd be like, oh my gosh, and then my family not being close would drive me crazy, and not having close friends. But thank goodness now I do. I'm grateful for the friends I have now. But like I'm saying, as a pregnant mom, you are definitely going to focus and think now about baby. And then my body's getting ready to give birth, so here comes the breastfeeding, here comes the pain after giving birth. It's going to take me months to heal. Lord help my body. But all I care about, of course, is my son comes out healthy. And as a dad too, I respect that too, because they're like, women go through a lot. Of course, the birthing's going to suck, and it's going to be more infinity beyond way more than he's going to experience. I'm like, yeah, you don't get to experience this, the painful, excruciating, crazy part. But also at the same time, he does get to experience an emotional and a massive change. Also, men do too during pregnancy, and women got to remember that too. Definitely, probably women forget that men go through pregnancy with their partners, because this is a whole huge change. Their lives is completely different too. They're not a single bachelor no more, or they can break up with their girlfriend or wife that's pregnant, but then they'd be a jerk. But obviously they're not going to. They're going to try to work it out. At least the mature good men will, like me and Babe will. But yeah, and so men go through, I understand that men definitely go through their emotional and their massive change differently. Here comes his son, here comes a baby that is part of him, a part of he created, a part of that is his responsibility now. Now, if I passed away, this is his whole full responsibility. Our child, he has to focus on making sure he's fed, making sure he's safe, making sure everything. So his mind's going to drastically change, just like mine. And so it's both of us, both partners go through, both the male and the female go through a lot of change during pregnancy and giving birth to your son soon. And here comes your child or daughter, if you're having a daughter. I understand that. And then definitely like I'm saying, I feel like what affects it the most, besides finances later, people complain about that. I'm like, yeah, probably the diapers, but you just need to balance the money. That's what I think. People just want to blow money on themselves, for sure, because we're all created, we're all born into sin, even the Bible says. So we're all created that we want our own things. Like Babe, things that make him happy is buying parts, fixing his Jeep and truck and his dirt bike, which is fine, of course. But not affordable at the time. My favorite things are collecting anime and horror and Disney movies and Monster High dolls and books. Those are all my interests that I love so much collecting. And that's fine too. That's my interest. So everybody has their own interest. Even, all partners, and even if you're opposites or you're exactly alike as a partner, it don't matter, You can like what you like and that's fine too. But anyways, but yeah, so I feel like couples can make it, definitely having a baby. It'll be fine. For me, it's my hormonal, and like I said, things change definitely. Having a baby, especially your first baby, and it's your first time in your life that you both have to learn to not be selfish no more. It's not about you no more. Like, we can't just necessarily break up and be like, oh, that's it, because we have a baby to think about. And it's just not, it's not simple and, like it was. It's not like teen years. When you're a teenager, you date and kiss and then you break up and go to the next person, especially boys, they do that. But, it's not something immature like that anymore. It's for reals, and it's me and him now. It's learning to try not to be selfish no more, learning how to communicate and become best friends together at some point. Learn how to, like, just get there that tight bond, which when me and him in our relationship, we've always been like kind of friends, but like I said, he's not really talkative type, so that's what makes it hard and strains the relationship for me. But that's fine that he don't express, like I said, but we just need to get especially having a child together, we need to get a higher level. And you definitely need to communicate in your relationships, guys. Express. That was always my problem. That's why I messed up so much. I just couldn't express, because I was like, oh, if I express, it's going to cause a fight or a breakup. And I'm just like, oh, I always feel like I'm the problem if I express, because see, I'm the only one with a problem that I'm putting on the table. But then at the same time, that's the best thing to do, because that's how you fix a relationship. That's how you work on it. So always express, male and female, say if you're not having the same feelings for each other, etc., etc. You guys always express. But I'm not even saying that though. I'm like, I still love Ronnie completely and entirely. I just said, because I just get frustrated at him. I wish we could communicate better. I wish he'd be less of a butthead sometimes. Like when I ask him something, like, can we do something like this? And then he has to just be so difficult about it, instead of being like, at least once in a while, be like, oh, sure, babe. If it's going to make you happy, then I will do it. Like, once in a while, you need your partner to say that. To share in a relationship, if it's going to make you happy, then I will do it. Of course, obviously, don't force yourself to do something that you really hate, and et cetera, but both couples, I'm talking about, both partners. The boyfriend, the girlfriend, the wife, or the wife and husband, they both need to share. Like, if that's going to make you happy, whatever it is, if I want you to, can you make me this? If I want to go this place, if I want to eat this place, you share in a relationship. If you can't share in a relationship and you want to always do what you want to do, or what movie you want to watch, what show you want to watch, what place you want to eat at, etc., etc. Like, if you want to go somewhere, but then your partner wants you to, like, do something, but you always tell them no, that's when it's going to get complicated too. It's like, oh my gosh, but I'm like, can you at least do some things, But it's definitely gotten better. But it needs to get better more, of course. I feel like in my relationship, at least. The communication, like I said, is okay, but needs to be better. And that communication in a relationship is key. So that just needs to be highlighted a lot more, and I'd feel much better. But like I said, I'm just like pregnant hormones, but I'm also being real too. I'm being a mature adult that is being super serious in my relationship, that I want it to be more stable and better. And like I said, and especially being pregnant, I'm 35 weeks tomorrow and we're at the end of November 2020. We're starting December, and in December I possibly might give birth, which would be so amazing at the end of the month, which I'm hoping, when he's, of course, way down on the weeks, like 39 weeks, of course. I want him to be fully developed and healthy, and his lungs and everything. But like I said, in a relationship too, what strains it for me, the vast majority, like a highlight circle, that why most couples would break up during pregnancy or after pregnancy, is because, majority of relationships nowadays, especially this generation and the younger generation, is just vastly highlighted on sex. And that's just it in a relationship. So people don't even date to date, really, to love or anything like that. They date because they're lonely most of the time nowadays, or they date because of sex, and that's pretty much it. And without that, especially, you know, having a kid, gonna give birth, etc., that strains relationships. Definitely, I feel like that's a massive thing that'll kill relationships and marriages, because it's like, oh, now we can't, of course. So it's like, kind of makes you on edge. Because yeah, I feel like you definitely feel like, for a second, for me especially as a woman, I feel like you lose that connection for a while. I feel like that was always like a connection and a bond, and I'm like, that's super personal. But it's like it's like, well, it's my life blog, and if it helps another person, male or female, in their relationship, I'm like, I'm so glad I helped you. Then I'm like, right, I'm serious. When you connect the most with somebody, it's of course through sex. Like, you're not just gonna connect from kissing. That's not really a massive connection, but you will the other way, because that's like fully connection. And when you don't have that, I feel like that strains a relationship a lot more, and that's what makes it edgy, and that's what makes most couples, especially gonna have a child, give birth, and then when the child's out, especially the first couple months, and it's gonna be a while for that business, that, you know, that strains the relationship, and you're just like, you're both exhausted because the baby keeps you up, and you're both moody. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I feel like that'll affect a relationship between the male and female, definitely. But I feel like it'll be okay, and I feel like, at least with me and my babe, God will help us for sure. We will be fine. We will make it through, and my hormones will calm down and feel much better. I will be less hormonal, and know that we love each other just in general, and then know that our friendship will grow, and know that we'll work as a team with baby, and wake up and change diapers and feeding, and we'll be a team. As soon as he comes home from work, I'll keep an eye on the baby, and I could try to nap for a little bit, etc., and I feel like we'll be fine. But yeah, so just I'm expressing my own life, but at the same time, if I can help another couple too, I'm like, right? I'm like, I'm thinking these things, especially while being pregnant right now, and I'm like, but it's gonna be okay. I feel like the only one that will help a relationship at all is, of course, the Lord, and if you're meant to be together or not. So but of course, like I said, I love him so much. I feel like we'll be okay. I'm just like, oh, it's just different when things change, of course, and things are not the same, but then it's gonna be okay. And you definitely still have to try to go on date nights, but like I said, everything's closed because of the coronavirus, so that strains it. That would kind of help a little bit, but like I said, he doesn't talk anyways, but he'll get there probably eventually. But yeah, personal life blog, but it's like,